Hello. Sorry, I haven't been uploading a lot. My life has been extremely busy, but I'm not going to get into that personal stuff because it's none of your guys' business. Um, Today is July 17th, and I had a very first day at a brand new fire department, July 14th. And so part of the reason why I haven't been uploading is because I've just been waiting for that job because that job is going to give me a lot more calls. And the reason why I started this YouTube channel was to talk about calls, and the department that I was working with prior did not get a lot of calls. So since it's my very first day on that job, they didn't have me do a 24-hour shift. They had me do a 12-hour shift just to get all my accounts set up and get all my gear ready and clothes and all that stuff, and just to kind of get used. So I have 10 supervised shifts, which are basically just 10, 12-hour shifts. And we got 6 or 7 calls in that 12-hour shift. So it was a great, great first day. And so I'm just going to talk about those calls and the stories that came with it. So the very first call I got was a call for a nosebleed. And so I'm a firefighter EMT. I'm not a paramedic, but since it was my first day on the job, I didn't really do much, but kind of sat there and watched, because on your first day at a brand new department, you just shut up and listen. You don't talk, which is just part of the culture. And so we arrived on scene, and we don't knock on this guy's door. We just yell fire department, and we kind of just walk in with the gurney and everything. And there's this guy that we hear stumbling inside the house, and he's like, "Oh, someone's trying to break in. Someone's trying to break in." And then by the time we open up the door, there's this guy that he's just yelling at us. He's like, "Oh, you guys don't knock on doors anymore." And like, he was being very, very aggressive. Like, we thought we were going to go fight him. So he's being extremely aggressive. The house is a hoarder house. It smells like drugs. And the call was for his wife or his girlfriend or whatever. I'm from now on, I'm just going to call him his wife. But he is being very, very aggressive. And then my captain tried calming him down. I don't know what he said, but he didn't like it. And so he was basically just shitting on my captain the entire time, saying like, "Oh, he's your captain. Like, I feel so bad for you guys. Like, I got to talk to someone that's actually mature," and yada, yada, yada. Or like, "Oh, like if that's the captain, like, heck, I'll join the fire department. I'll be a way better captain for you guys." While we were treating this guy's wife, which is totally like the person that I was kind of like shadowing, said that this is like the most blood he's ever seen out of a nosebleed. Like, I'm telling you, like, she said the blood, like, she's been bleeding for the past 2 or 3 days, if I remember right. And she just now decided to call 911. But I'm telling you, like, there was blood all over the floor, all over the sink. And we're applying pressure and giving her nasal spray. Like, we did two sprays per nostril over a course of, I don't know, however minutes. And it was not working. Like, she had to get it cauterized or something at the hospital. But it was a bloody mess, just blood all over the floor, all over the sink. The husband's just yelling at my captain the entire time, like not giving us ID or anything like that to help his wife. And like, he was just being extremely difficult to where we almost called the cops, like radioed the cops, and so he could like get out of the way so we could take care of his wife and take care of our patient. So that was my very first call on my very first day at that fire department. What a great welcome. And so, yeah, no, but I really like my job. The second call we got was for at an old folks home where there's this guy. I can't remember what the original call was for, but we discovered that this guy was probably suffering from sepsis. His big left toe was super infected, and the paramedic that I was with kind of played a prank on me. I don't know if he did this on purpose or not, but he was like, "Hey," and he said my name. He's like, "Can you make sure, like, can you do an assessment to make sure it's really infected?" And so I go and I take this guy's sock off, and like, oh my gosh, I almost threw up in my mouth. This guy's toe was like the size of my head. It was so big and disgusting. And I heard the paramedic like laugh under his breath because I was like, "Yep, it's infected." while we were up in the ambulance on the way back to the hospital. So, but that was just a weird call. He didn't know, like, he was like, we kept on asking him, like, how long has this been infected? And he kept on saying, just for a day. And then we're like, well, how long have you been in the old folks home? Just for a day, which was not true at all. So he was a little bit altered mental status, but yeah, it's whatever. So that was my second call. My third call of the day is we go to a casino, and it's just this grandma that fell and hit her head on one of the chairs. She was playing like the slot machines. And so she fell and she hit her head on the chair. And this call was funny because I'm 20 years old, so I've never been inside a casino before. And so, yeah, this was my first time going into a casino as a 20-year-old kid, just going, like, I don't think I'm allowed to be in a casino until I'm 21 because you have to be ID'd, but yeah. And so she kept on blaming it on the chair, probably because she wanted to sue the casino and she didn't want to pay for the medical bills. But I don't know. She was really weird because, like, we asked her, like, well, did you lose consciousness? And at first she's like, no. And then we got her in the ambulance. We're like, okay, did you lose consciousness? No. Okay, did you lose consciousness? Yeah, I lost consciousness for a couple seconds. We're like, okay, like what? So I don't know. She was kind of funny. And then she kept on going on rants about her son and just like random things that weren't related to the subject, like any of the questions we were talking, like asking her at all. But yeah, that was funny. Fourth call of the day, we go into another hoarder home that smells like drugs. And so we walk into the front door, and then there's this living room. Like immediately, there's this living room, and then to the right is the kitchen. And in front of you, like past the living room, is a hallway. And then in that hallway, there's a room to your left, and that's where our patient is. And there was two people sitting on the couches in the living room, just talking to each other and like acting like nothing is going on. Like they didn't acknowledge us or anything like that. Like they were just shooting the shit, just talking like nothing weird was going on. Like the fire department at their house wasn't anything like out of the ordinary, which was super funny. But the patient that we go in, she's just laying on her bed and she urinated herself. But it wasn't really anything. We did a stroke assessment on her. I wasn't really too sure what was going on. We were assuming like CHF, but she had clear lung sounds, and I don't know. That was just, everyone was kind of just confused on what was going on that call. But we were able to get her out and take her to the hospital. But I just thought that was really funny that those two guys that were sitting there on the couch, like, acted like nothing was wrong. Everything was just normal. So that's what is that? So we got the nosebleed, big toe, casino, the first casino call. That was the fourth call. So our fifth call was the second time we go into the casino, and there was this transgender person, so male to female, and he was taking hormone medications and all that, and he was walking to work, like he works at the casino, and it's like 111 degrees that day, or like it's just bloody hot, and he was just walking, and he gets to work and he passes it out, and then his coworkers called 911. So we get to the casino and he's laying there on the ground, and like at first he didn't want to go to the hospital, but then we convinced him that it was probably for the best, because it's not normal to just pass out like that. We gave him a lot of fluids because he was probably just really dehydrated with like electrolytes, and especially because you're like messing with your hormones. Like, I don't know, you gotta take care of yourself whenever you're doing that stuff. I'm not gonna get into the politics because this isn't a politics channel. But yeah, that's what happened. I thought that was like the crew at the fire department had some opinions, which was really funny. I'm glad that they were open with me about their opinions on this, even though it was like the first time they've ever met me. But yeah. Okay. And then the next, so that's call number 5, this 6 call. Yeah. So we only had 6 calls a day. was a frequent flyer, is what I hear. Like multiple times a day is we run on this person, I guess. Anyways, this person was really funny. Like she called 911 or whatever, and it was for an overdose. But the crew saw the address and they're like, no way that they're overdosing. But so we get to the house, the cop is already there, and the cop was like laughing at us. He's like, oh, my heroes are finally here. And like this lady was super funny. I could tell why the crew gets annoyed with her, especially when it's like at 3 a.m. that they call, but I only was at a 12-hour shift with them, and so it was in the middle of the day, so I thought it was pretty funny. But she was like, oh my, like she called 911 just to tell us about how bad she pooed herself. And like she's like, we get to the house and she's in the garage. And so she's like, don't go in there. It's big Code Brown. Like she said Code Brown. Yeah, I thought that was so funny. She's like, it's just a ton of Code Brown in there. And I just wanted to tell you guys how bad it is in there. And I just want you guys to check my vitals. So we did, but I don't know, that was super funny but yeah, I think that was all the calls we ran that day. Really good shift. The crew likes me. They were giving me they were messing with me, which is a good sign, because if they weren't messing with me, that means they didn't like me. So yeah, overall, like I love my job. That was the first job. I'm like first day on the job. I'm going back on Friday, and so I'll make a video about that. Friday and Saturdays I'm working there. Friday and Saturday I'm working there. But yeah, I love that job. So yeah, thanks for listening to me.